Right then, how's it going everyone? Welcome to Rads. It all feels very familiar this, doesn't it? Standard procedure, Nottingham Forest away from home, imploding, then in this case actually kind of getting back into it and then just deciding to, well, not get back into it completely. I know Aston Villa were a fantastic side. It was always going to be very difficult today. Some people were optimistic and, I felt we could maybe get something from it. It was a bit wishful thinking, if we're entirely honest. I think because Villa have been a bit unconvincing at times the last several weeks now. Obviously, that amazing home run that they had of, I think it was 14 wins in a row in the Premier League, that came to an end against Newcastle. Lost to Chelsea, lost a couple at Villa Park, and Villa weren't looking quite as convincing. So maybe we could have got something today, but as it always seems to be the case, besides West Ham last week, whenever Forest play a team that are in a bad run of form, or not even bad form in Villa's case, but just not as convincing, we suddenly make them play really, really well. And that happened again today. There's so many examples of that. I can accept losing games. We're going to lose games at this level, and at any level you're going to lose games sometimes, and even especially when you're playing against exceptional teams, and Villa have been exceptional this season. But it's the manner in which you lose. It's going to be hard as it is. But against anyone, if you're making the most basic mistakes, that's when it's really hard to accept. And it happened in abundance today again. So let's just go over it, unfortunately for us. Please, everyone, if you are new to the channel and you're watching this, consider subscribing, hitting the like button. It goes a long way. So, yeah, let's just get on with this one. Aston Villa 4, Nottingham Forest 2. I mean, we got 2 goals back, but let's just look at the lineup straight away. I thought it was good, minus one thing, and I think you know what it's going to be. Why we're playing a centre-back at left-back? What has Harry Toffolo done to Nuno Espirito Santo? I just don't quite get that at all. No Nuno Tavares, I presume he was injured. So it's natural that you put Toffolo there. And Toffolo isn't the most glamorous player in the world. He certainly isn't the best left-back by any means at this level, or maybe even necessarily at the club. Only I think he is, quite frankly, because Tavares, he's been very unconvincing for me. Some might say I'm being harsh. I think he was actually quite good against West Ham, but still, we've seen far too much unconvincing performances from Tavares. For me, Toffolo has been in excellent form all season, and I feel really bad for him. And Niakate, I like Niakate a lot as well, but he's clearly not a left back. He's a centre back, and it's just asking for trouble against Aston Villa away from home. They're obviously going to target that left hand side. He's not used to playing in that position. It's such an obvious mistake waiting to happen, if you ask me. And if it worked, then fair play, but it was always unlikely, if you ask me. Looking at the goals, we really need to do this. Murillo just gets skinned for this first goal. Felipe gets nutmegged. Nico Williams just kind of not really doing anything. And then we've got to say it, Matt Sells, I feel he was a bit questionable today, very questionable. And I'm not saying he's as bad as Turner and Vlachodimos. I don't think he is. I think he's the best of a unconvincing bunch. Is that harsh to say? He's only played, 3 games? I don't know. Please don't slate me for that. But I'm just saying, I feel Sells, he clearly wasn't our first option. This was the first game today where he did look very exposed. I think the first 2 games, don't get me wrong, he looked very solid. But in this game today, he was at fault for a couple of the goals, or certainly didn't help us at all. Here, again, extreme side of the goal. We've seen Vlachodimos do this an awful lot. It's obvious what's going to happen in this case when the whole team's so disjointed, and the goalkeeper's at the far left-hand side of the goal, sorry. There's a massive, massive gap with several Villa players that could easily just put it into literally free space. It was asking for trouble. And what I am finding so frustrating about when we concede these goals, and it's happened so many times at this level, Forest players, if you watch it, all they do is they're just ball watching. They're just completely focused on where the ball is, not necessarily thinking about where it might end up, which is normally where the danger's going to be. The ball was being played in by Leo Bailey, a fantastic player, big threat. Every Forest player was completely focused on him, not thinking, okay, Bailey's probably not going to get past us here, but he could easily play a ball to someone on the other end of it. No one was paying attention to Watkins. And it's even worse for the second goal. When I watched it back, for a brief moment, I genuinely thought it was another replay of the first goal. It was that similar. Again, back line even more disjointed. Murillo beaten very easily again in this case. And I really don't like to skip, just to slate players for the sake of it. I don't do that. You can give somewhere else for that if you want. But I don't do that. And in this case, I'm just stating the truth that these lads were just having a mare. far too much. Niakate, nowhere to be seen. He's playing at left back. In the screenshot you're seeing now, he literally isn't in shot. Niakate, like, surely that's an issue. Surely that's an issue, right? Douglas Luiz, the man that ends up scoring this goal, is completely unmarked the whole time. No one's near him. No one's near him. Again, where is the ball going to end up? The ball's clearly going to get crossed into the box. Where's the ball going to end up? Unless he takes a shot, which is unlikely. Forest players just don't seem to compute that there's more areas to be aware of than where the ball is. You've got to look like who else could be a threat, and it just doesn't seem to be a thing. Everyone converges on the same area. This has happened so many games before. I'm just so disappointed. Like, these lads did it the week before, obviously a much more superior team today, but how can you go from such a solid performance to this? It's just unbelievable. Third goal, I don't think we can be too critical here, but I suppose if you're going to blame anyone, it's either Anthony Elanga or Murillo again. I hate to dig out Murillo again, but Elanga was the one that could have probably blocked John McGinn's cross. It was a good cross, to be fair. It was a very good header from Watkins. If you're going to blame anyone in that back line, it was Murillo because he was the closest, but it was just a very good header. So I'm not going to be too critical on that goal, but again, just it's another goal conceded. Now, this is when Forest decide to actually wake up and compete in the game. Morgan Gibbs' white corner, won by Tyrell Wani, and obviously it's Niakate that does end up finding it, someone that we were critical of being on the pitch, or at the very least the position that he was playing. It's a pretty simple goal. We got one back, fair enough. And then we managed to get another. I'm thinking we're going to lose 3-2 again. That didn't happen. We lost 4-2 instead. So is this going to be a new trait at this stage? Hopefully not. Elanga, again, starts on a very good run. It's obviously worth pointing out here, we've made 3 subs. Toffolo, Amabadadeli and Origi have come on at this point. I must say, though, Elanga starts this run. It's a good run again from Elanga. And Origi, you know, I certainly don't think he's the ideal option, but he has started to show the odd sign here or there recently that he is at least useful. And he collected the ball, albeit pretty simply, but particularly to find the pass. Great pass. Morgan spots it very well, and it's a very, very composed finish from Gibbs White. And at this stage, I think him, and I said it out loud, I was with a few people at the time, okay, we're either going to lose 3-2 here, because that's what tends to happen, or we're going to implode. And I said 5-2, but as it turns out, we didn't exactly implode, but we didn't get back into the game, shall we say, or lose 3-2 again. The fourth goal, I mean, if I've not already made it clear how I feel about our defending, then this goal is the worst of the lot. So I'm going to try and not get too carried away here. It's just the most avoidable goal you're ever going to see. Again, it's enemies of our own downfall. I know that's a bit of a cliche, but it's so true. Again, like, you've already conceded 3 goals. I don't know what we were hoping to achieve in this situation. Fair play to Villa, their high press completely caught us out, even though we probably should have been aware that they were going to do that. And again, it's Dominguez. Dominguez has been amazing, absolutely amazing all season, besides the tail end of when Steve Cooper was here. And I think today we saw signs that Dominguez, I think especially away from home, can struggle a little bit. Plays a ball back to Amabadadeli, and I don't blame Amabadadeli here in this case, because he was under immense pressure. Maybe he should have been aware of Villa's high press, I don't know, but I wouldn't have played that ball back in that scenario. Dominguez maybe should have been more aware of the fact that Watkins was obviously going to press Big Andy as much as he did, and you know, he couldn't really do anything about it. He tries to play it to Danilo, who's got to meet Tielemans right next to him, just gets a total and utter mess. Obviously, Tielemans ends up winning the ball. He plays it to Watkins. He gets brought down, or I think they both collide into each other. Amabadadeli is kind of beaten a bit easily, and he finds Bailey. And again, it's free space, because guess what? Matt Sells came rushing out. It was never really going to work. It was very risky. And it's a very simple goal to score. I mean, you literally can't miss, pretty much. Just so disappointing. Again, you know, like I say, I can totally accept losing games, but when you're losing in this manner, it's just, I can't accept that. I don't think any of us should accept that. And it's happened so many times. Ridiculous amount of times. Even at home, just so many goals. When was the last time we conceded a truly, like, top-notch goal? Brilliant team goal. We defended for our lives, but we just came unstuck. Okay, fair enough, good goal. Maybe the third goal today for Villa, but again, after conceding 2, I can't even come up with an excuse, you know? And it's every goal just seems completely avoidable. And I suppose every goal's avoidable in ways, but it's when you're making these basic schoolboy mistakes, you know, it's just, that's what is so frustrating. And it's all well and good when you go and beat West Ham, who are obviously in atrocious form. Today just proved it, that we should have absolutely buried that West Ham game, you know. We should have scored like 5 or 6, genuinely. So many big missed chances, and don't get me wrong, it was a great result. We did play well, but it wasn't completely slick, if you ask me. And today, we play a much better team, or at least a team in much better form, and they absolutely punish us for it. And, West Ham are never going to press like Villa did today, and they press us, and we're completely caught out. And would that have happened at the City ground? Maybe not, but I just feel, again, we've seen it at home, so many basic mistakes. I don't want to keep just slating the players, but after a game like that, it's pretty tough to find any positives. Fair play to us to getting 2 back, but kind of means nothing. It means absolutely nothing when you're conceding 4, again, very, very soft goals. And, Liverpool next, that's probably the hardest game in the league right now. Top of the league, I think it's going to be incredibly difficult to beat them. I know we beat them last year. I know we've had some very good results at home, but we've also been beaten at home an awful lot this season as well. So I'm not going to say I feel confident. I feel you never know, we could get something at the City ground against a big team. It's happened before, but I'm not holding much hope, if I'm entirely honest. And we've got a distraction in the week against Man United. So yeah, thank you for watching, everyone. If you have enjoyed this at all, then please hit the like button, subscribe to Rads if you're new. And yeah, that was just another very, very disappointing game, really. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm not normally as negative as this, so apologies for that, but I'm just telling the truth. I'm just frustrated, quite frankly. That's all it is. But yeah, thank you for watching, everyone. Up the Reds.